I don't know if you can hear me in here or not. Maybe not. I'll walk around the boat and be quieter over there. And I'll tell you what I've been up to. Okay, so I got the Studebaker done as far as the work I've been doing on it. The only thing that's left is I've ordered basically a decal that says Studebaker that I'm going to stick on that back part, the part that I made to go kind of behind the fuel tank. So I had a day that I didn't have anything scheduled for, so I cut all the grass, and I had to do some work on the swimming pool, and started toward getting it cleaned up. The Rambler is turnkey running with a full tank of gas and a fresh battery. The Rat Rod is turnkey running with a full tank of gas and a good enough battery. The Studebaker turnkey running, full tank of gas, fresh battery. We got a car show tomorrow over in Ava, Star, somewhere over there, South Carolina, not too far from here. And I invited the neighbor's kid next door to go with me, but I told them that I ain't got no airbags or no safety devices, you know, so think about whether or not they want to trust him with me. They said they would. So if he don't go with me, I'll probably just take the Rat Rod, just because it's the funnest one to drive. It's not very far over there, and it's all through backwoods roads, so I don't have to worry too much about the big boys in their big toys trying to run over me with their pickup trucks. A lot of redneck boys around here. They feel like they ain't a man if they ain't got a truck that they have to climb in with a ladder. So I also went and got this boat out of the storage thing. Me and Honey Babe uncovered it. I put a brand new fresh battery in it, put 20 gallons of gas in it, double checked the water pump hole, cranked the engine, ran water through it, made sure it was pumping water, so it's ready to go in the lake. And we may be putting it in the lake soon. We got a car show tomorrow, got something going on tonight that Honey Baby's interested in, and then we got church on Sunday, and after that, if not before then, I'm pretty sure we'll be ready to put the boat in the water. So we got the pontoon boat good. That was a half a day's work, by the way, because you know how it is. Everything's been sitting around for 7-8 months. So I mean, you know, you just want to make sure everything's working before you get it floating in the water. So those things are done. This generator deal came along because of Larry, my neighbor that used to live over there. I liked Larry a lot. He was the guy that had that John Deere tractor that rolled down the bank, and me and him and Jerry and Randy and a bunch of us from the neighborhood went over and pumped it out with a hand winch. But he moved, and he had a bunch of stuff to sell, and this generator was one of them. And I don't really need a generator. I got one down there that I got from Bill, and it works. The thing with a generator or anything with a gas motor is you need to keep it empty of gas. The same with that boat. When I put it in the water and put it away last year, I turned the gas off, and man, it's surprising how long it took that thing to run all the gas out of the line. But it did eventually, so we ran it dry. This one I had run dry, or maybe Larry had run it dry, but Honey Baby started talking about going to camp in at some campgrounds that didn't have power. And of course, if you do that, you want to carry a generator. And that generator is lighter than the big generator I've got. And so I was thinking I could mount this on the back of the camper. That way when we go camping, we just take it right along with us. But I wasn't sure because it had gas in the gas tank. And I figured Larry said he would have run it dry, but he ran it dry, but he didn't run the gas out of the gas tank. And I don't trust to crank an engine that's been sitting with gas in the gas tank. So I drained all the gas out of it and made sure that it was dry. And then I poured in, maybe about less than half a pint, and started it. And I'm going to let it run until it quits. And once it quits, I'll know it's really dry. dry in the gas tank, dry in the carburetor, and that way if we take it camping and I pour a little gas in there, it should start up and run. Now that's a pull start generator, so you don't want to mess with them too much. I mean, you don't have to pull on them things more than 500 or 600 times before your arm gets tired, you know. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to take it, I got it ready to go. And that little wagon there, I got that from Larry too, and that wagon is at a pretty good height to sit that on. Now that thing, Larry had some little wheels on that generator, but they were the kind of wheels you would put on like a cabinet that you were going to be rolling around like a toolbox. And they, you know, they're no good at all in dirt or gravel or anything like that. So I took them off them wheels, and I've got a welder cart over there that I put it on, but they kind of precariously sit on it. But I got them up here, got that up here with it, and then I pulled out this wagon that I'd gotten from Larry, and that sits on there pretty good. Now that thing, let's do a little walking and talking, and I grab a tape measure and we'll talk about what I want to talk about. Y'all just hold your ears because we're going to get close to this thing. But this thing here sits on this cart. That's 15 inches off the ground. Now keep that in mind, 15 inches off the ground. So I could roll that on that cart around the campground or around the house here. And if I was to come down here where the camper is, keeping in mind that it's on a cart that's 15 inches off the ground, and if I were to walk around behind that and see how tall it is to the rear bumper, it might work for me to build a shelf on the rear bumper that I could slide that up onto and the cart. That way I could take them to the campground, and then when I got ready to run it, I could slide it off on the cart and then slide that off. So let's see how tall it is to the top of that. That would be 26 inches. So this is about 10 inches taller than the cart. If the cart's 15 inches, well, you can see there about where 15 inches is. So if I got one of them fold down cart hickeys that I could put on that. And that might be the way to go with this, is to put me a Reese trailer hitch here and put that fold down cart hickey on here, and then put that wagon or that generator in that wagon up on top of that, and then take them camping with me. Yep, could do that. Of course, I'd want to study on what's up under there. I might want to come out to one of these beams and put my little Reese hitch out there and cut my cart down smaller, where I'm not, well, I don't know, I have to get the cart. I've got that cart sitting, actually that's sitting over here. I'm calling it a cart, but it's I bought this for Robert when we bought him that wheelchair. By the way, I want to thank all of y'all. Some of y'all donated money to help him get that wheelchair, and that has really been necessary for him. He's actually had his other leg amputated now. He's in the process of all that getting well so he can start walking on a couple of artificial legs. But with the money that y'all gave me, I bought this. Now, if I mounted a Reese hitch onto this and then put that on the back of that, then I could fold that up when I'm not using it, and then I could fold it down when I am using it, and we could put that generator on this. Probably the cart too. So let's do a measurement on this. Now this is not real wide. That's 45 inches. All this mathematical stuff is going on in my head, and I'm not really very good at mathematical stuff. So just because I figure something out don't mean I know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's ever had any experience with me pretty much knows what I'm saying here. But let's take this 45 inches, and let's say I was to, well, look at that. Now that's 45 inches. The 45 inches comes right past this tire, and this tire is mounted on by these two clamps. Now I could move that tire over a little, probably not, don't want to move it enough to blocked my tag, but I could come over, what is that, 6 or 8 inches with the tire, and then I'd have plenty of room to mount that down cart here. And then when we folded it up, it would be pretty much out of the way. You'd have this light shining through it, but they ought to be able to see that, I think. And then when I folded it down, see, because the hitch would be under here, then the rack would be down here like 3 or 4 inches, which would put me that much closer to where that little rolly cart's gonna sit. So if I folded this down, slid that generator up on here and slid that cart on here too, then I could carry it to the campground that way. And then when I got to the campground, I could roll it off onto that cart and roll it away from the thing so the vibration of it wouldn't shake the camper. And then we could run that generator. Wouldn't that be cool? One of the things we got involved with when we were traveling across the country was a place called Harvest Host. And Harvest Host works with people who have farms and wineries and all manner of places. And they'll let you stay for free, but they don't have power, so you have to bring your own power, and you have to carry your own waste away. And when you travel on the road, there's a lot of places on the road, like I think petrol stations do this. They have drop tanks where you can drop your black tanks in them. And a lot of rest areas, like over in Alabama, their rest areas have black tanks where you can drop your waste. So we could put this on the back of that and then put that generator on that and then take us with us. And then if we wanted to, they call that boondocking when you're camping out without plugging into anybody's power. And we could boondock around at a lot of these different wineries and farms, and some people that run their own business, they'll let you do this kind of thing. And we met a lot of nice people doing that. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I wanted to get this running, and I wanted to begin the process of fabricating in my brain how to carry that with us if we wanted to go boondocking. Now there's another thing going on here, and some of you have seen this recently. I took the 32 Studebaker fenders off the Rat Rod trailer. Now a couple people said those fenders look like they'd fit right on that Studebaker. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that. These are the fenders that came from the factory on this Studebaker, and that's exactly where they sit, and that's exactly how they fit. And somebody said the back was too low. Well, it just looks that way. This is how they originally fit, but up here on the front where this ends, that's where the running board ran. So the running board would run right under the door and then go up to the front fender. So it's not really low in the back. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. And that big piece of metal that goes over this, I did not use. I set it on there. I looked at it. I could have used it, but I decided not to. I kind of wanted to. I like the looks of that shiny tank, and I like the looks of that frame, because those frames are not, they don't make car parts as pretty as the car parts on some of these old 30s models cars. And with this trailer hitch, I can still use that Rat Rod trailer, and if I wanted to like take this one to the car show, and if I wanted to throw in a spare tire and a toolbox and lawn chairs. I hear my generator. Hear it going down. That means it's burned up all the gas now. It's going to run till it goes dead, and once it goes dead, it's going to be empty, which is what we want. We'll go watch the glorious moment when this stops sputtering, because we know that's going to mean that it's empty. And then I was going to walk down, and I could show you, but you all have seen it recently. The Rat Rod trailer is sitting right down there under a tarp. I'll go ahead and walk down there. You've heard a generator quick before. I'm pretty sure you don't need to continue to watch this video just so you can hear that. There you go. So that Rat Rod trailer is right down here under that tarp. It's on the other side of that metal building. But over on the other side here, I've got a 55-gallon drum that I bought me and Bill Hurst went out one time, and he bought one. He used his for a burn barrel. I bought one, and I saved mine because I was thinking I might need it to make fenders with one day, and this might be that day. So I could take this 55-gallon drum, cut it up, take 2 sections of it, and make me a fender for each side of that rat rod trailer out of that drum right there. And that'd be another good day's project. And then I could put my lights back on that and my tag back on that, because that rat rod trailer was wired for lights and it's registered, it's got a tag. And then I've got some antique toolboxes over here. And I was thinking, well, I could put an antique toolbox and a jack, and I've got a little small shade tent that I hadn't put up yet that I could take, and I could put a couple of lawn chairs in there with me. I could throw that on the back of either the rat rod or the Studebaker. I'd rather put it on the Studebaker because the Studebaker is heavier and it's got good brakes, and the rat rod is lighter and it doesn't have any kind of power brakes. All it's got is it's got disc brakes on the front, but you still have to put some foot pedal power on it to stop it just pulling itself. So if I was pulling that trailer too, I could, but I'd feel more comfortable doing it in that car. That car's got power brakes and all of that. I was going to show you something in here. I've got some old, I'm pretty good about saving junk, but I've got like this toolbox right here. I could take and set that on that trailer, put my tire wrenches and stuff right there on it, and yeah, put a few things like that on that trailer and take it and get it ready to go to the car show. So, all right, so I'm gonna go and walk back around here and figure out what I'm gonna do next. Probably the next thing to do would be to find me a Reese trailer hitch thing, and I've got like this one. That's a Reese trailer hitch thing right there. Yep. And I've got all these trailer hitches. So yeah. So I could literally attach, I could attach that to the back of the camper. Oh, the joy. So much fun to be had. Another thing I'm going to be doing, some of y'all were watching the video when we had our last flood that flooded the garage, is I'm going to order me some of those little trough hickeys and bury them in the ground from over there around here to drain water away from the garage. I've already got a hose under the ground, but down here in Georgia sometimes we get a rainstorm that's so powerful that it'll run the water in there faster than the water can drain down into that hose. So I'm gonna cut this gas off. All right. Whew. I'm a little bit hot and sweaty already. So I might ride over to Iva and get some gas. I put gas in the boats and the hot rods and all that. I might run over to Iva and fill up my gas tanks. I like to keep gas. I burn non-leaded gas, and I like to keep some on hand. You never know when the world's going to come to an end and all we got is all we got. So I like to keep a little on hand because, like I say, you never know. All right, I'll stop talking now. Maybe I'll go grab some gas tanks and we'll go fill them up. We'll go across the border and bring back a load of untaxed substances. I cooked some catfish for breakfast this morning, by the way. That came out pretty good. I like fish with a little more flavor than that, but still it was good. I think I might try deep frying some next time. Whew. Must be pretty hot today. It looks like that thermometer over there says 90 something. That's pretty hot. All right, let me make myself a glass of tea. I'll go grab me some gas tanks and we'll do a gas run. I love y'all. Appreciate you hanging out with me. I know that I figured out that I ain't nothing special, but still there's people that watch me in spite of all of that. One of the things I figured out, a lot of us like to think that we are, really special and all of that, but the reality is we ain't. Not really. And if anybody likes us enough to hang out with us just a little bit, like I got some really good friends who was here one day and gone the next. I guess they just had enough of me. And that's happened my entire life. In fact, if I take all the people that's ever been in my life and I count up the number of them that decided they had enough of me and they just took off and wouldn't have anything else to do with me for whatever reason, and the ones that have stuck with me, like Luke Palioka and Waylon Wire and Musty One and One Lonely Farmer and Dan Resto Dan and George and you know your name, Terry. Anyway, if I took the ones that includes women too, ones that had enough of me and didn't want no more to do with me, and I measured them up against the ones who stuck around, there's probably a lot less people that stuck around than the ones that hung out with me. But those of you that do and did, appreciate you very much. I know I ain't really worth it. Y'all giving me mercy. Anyway. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that there. See you next time. Hope you have a good day. By the way, I spend a lot of time on the lake lately. I got a lot of video. I've been trying to keep at least one video of relaxing music every day. Now, the ones I put on my channel have one commercial. I don't put multiple commercials on them. I just figure, if you're going to watch it on my channel, you'll watch that one commercial, because that's pretty much what YouTube wants. They want to make a little money off you. But I got a whole other YouTube channel, and if you read the fine print in my page, it'll tell you how to get to it. And all of those videos are relaxation videos, and all of those videos are commercial free. So if y'all ever just get enough of the world, and I do, sometimes I get up in the morning, I used to get up and drink my coffee, read y'all's comments, look at Facebook, look at whatever that is, Image View or whatever. And I can't even look at that stuff anymore because it's so political and so hateful, so mean-spirited, it makes me so mad to watch it. I just figure, I'll go watch one of my own videos of me floating around in the lake with some peaceful music in the background rather than watch that stuff. So anyway, that's over there too. If y'all want some of that, you're welcome to it. I put it up for you. Somebody made a comment the other day, said, I appreciate you putting this up for me. I said, yes, sir, I did put that up for you, and I'll keep putting them up for you because you're a good man. I love you, and I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to stop talking now, whether you like it or not. See you next time. I know there's a button on here I have to push somewhere to make y'all stop looking at me. Here it is right